Good morning, Sunday live chat with Nick. I woke up this morning um, and caught up on Don, the comic book junkie, and CBA late night chat last night. I found out that I won. Very humble, much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for voting for me. I certainly, did not have any expectation of winning anything. Um, but regardless, much appreciated. And I can't thank enough for all the people that enjoy this channel. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy yapping about comic books and movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And so, um, a big thanks to CBA. I know it's not an easy thing to do as far as running contests. No, well, running this uh, contest. Uh, Good morning, Russell, and then tallying up the votes. Hello, Comic Crack. It's a lot of work. I have no idea how many people voted. I listened to the chat last night on Don's channel. Well, it was at midnight last night. I listened to the chat this morning at 7 a.m. or so when I woke up. And even if 30 Manny from New York is here, it's a lot of work. It's not easy to do. I'm running a trivia game right now, so yes, Terrence, I won the voters of CBA YouTubers of the Year. I won uh, the live chat, the one man live chat show. Uh, I won that award based on all the voters last night, and I also won the award for getting the most vote. There was 5 different categories. Best uh, best or most like one man chat show, best ensemble, um, uh, best collection, best YouTuber, best personality. There's a whole bunch of things. So I won the best one man show. I appreciate everyone for the support and vote, and that and during the show, Don did express that he is kind of burnt out and tired of the negativity and thumbs down, and he thinking about stop making videos soon. He's close to 500 videos. uh he's close to 500 videos. I think he's like 10 or 11 videos away from reaching that milestone, and then he said that after that he might stop making videos and walk away for a little while. And I hope he doesn't go away completely and take some time off and come back. And um, it's not it's a lot of work. It's fun, but it's work. Okay, for those that make a lot of videos, I have been on YouTube now. It would be exactly for yes, the comic book aesthetes. Yes, the comic January 17th will be the exact anniversary of my 4th year on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 4 years. And for those that keep track, thank you, Sally. It is a lot of work. Even if 50 or 60 people voted, I have no idea how many people voted, okay? And each person put down 5 to 6 or 7 nominee. You have to create a big spreadsheet to tally up 600-700 or whatever vote that came in. So it's a lot of work. So a big thank you for CBA to go through that work. Heck, just trying to run my trivia game with 13 players is a lot of work for me. Fun, but it's work. Make no mistake, it's not a simple task to do. So much respect for anyone that run any kind of contest, because it's never easy. Even when people run like the the 100 subscriber contest or the 200. It's always work. Okay, I think a lot of people understand that, in many ways, YouTubers trying to give back to the community by running these contests whenever they reach a certain milestone. At the end of the day, it's a lot of work for them, for the most part, because running and organizing any kind of contest is not a simple task. Yes, Manny, it's a lot of work. I made, you ready for this shocker? Not that I expect everyone to know or watch most of my videos. In 4 years on YouTube, over 920 videos. Yes, that's how many there are on this channel. I'm closing in on 1,000. I stopped counting a long time ago, but last I checked, hello Monks Den. Last I checked, there are over 900, and that's before the end of last year. So within the first week of this year, I had a dozen or more. So it's crazy. I made a lot of videos. I enjoy making them. My advice to Don, as well as other people that feel burnt out, is it's okay to switch up and make videos on different things. There's nothing wrong with making videos that is not comic book centric. For those that follow my channel for 4 years now, I started out making just about comic books, but within a year, which in the first year of making comic books video, I start to talk about movies. Okay, not superhero movies, but movies in general. Movies I like, because I love movies. I enjoy going to the movies a lot. So, and then I branch out into talking about TV shows. And then for me, first and foremost, hello Kyle, hello Space Baby. For me, when it comes down to making videos, it's always about me first. I have to do, for me to spend the time, okay? Even if it takes 10 minutes out of my time to make the videos and take another 15 or longer to load the video, for me to go through that, I have to make something that I like, okay? I can't. Yes, I have a lot of Nike. My wife can't stop buying me hats. In fact, the truth is I have never bought a hat since I can't remember when. Since I got married over 10 years ago, 11 years to be honest. Been 11 years since I got married that my wife had bought me dozens and dozens of baseball caps. I don't know why. She think I like them because I wear them all the time, but it's almost like because she buy them, I wear them. And then she thought that because I wear them a lot, I want them. And it's a circular nonsense. And like I said, I keep getting them every year. She get me one. So you figure after 11 years, that's how many baseball caps I probably have around the house everywhere. Every room you walk into, you will see at least one or two laying around, hanging up somewhere, because it's easier for me to walk around and put this on than to comb my hair. Back to making videos. Ultimately, unless I'm happy making the videos, I don't want it to be a chore. Okay, I don't want this to be work. Okay, some YouTubers, some big time YouTubers, it is work because they earn a living. They earning, some of them 50, 100,000, a million, whatever it is. They earn a living doing it. Okay, I'm here to have fun. So for me to be on YouTube, it's about having fun. Okay, that's my best advice to Don, is like, whether you want to talk about comic books or talking about horror movies, because he's a big fan of the horror genre, talk about movies, talking about TV shows. You don't have to confine to talk about collections and hauls. I mean, years ago when I started out this channel, I um, I knew I was not buying a lot anymore. Okay, I already reached the part of my collecting cycle that I'm like, if I buy 20 books a year, that would be about what I'm buying, 2 or 3 books a month kind of thing. So I'm like, it's not going to be a haul channel where I show up hauls like Mercenaut. Mercenaut would, show up 50 books every week. There is no way in hell I'm buying 50 books a month, let alone a week, like Mercenaut. So it's not going to be like that. It's about talking about the hobby and things I enjoy. I make a constant effort in putting out content that has little to do with hauls, because there are enough hauls out there. There are. Not that I don't like to look at people's haul. At the same time, there are plenty. And then it's about making something I like. Like for 2 years or so, I made a lot of first appearances rating videos where I talk about intro of a character. I give the opinions of that, show the books. But then I got burnt out, just like Don did. Okay, you can't do the same thing over and over and over and not get tired of it. Okay, that's just the facts of life. If you want to see the result of the annual award, go to Don the comic book junkie channel. That's where the hour-long show is. Okay. Hello, man from Beantown. Hello, Kevin. So, for like 2 years, I made something like 40 videos of first appearance rating, and I got tired of it. By the time I got to like number 36, 37, I knew I was at the end of that series. It's just that I just don't have it in me anymore. Even though some people wish I did more, I have been contacted quite a few times. Like, are you gonna do more? Why haven't you done the first appearance rating on this character, that character? And I'm just like, I had enough. After I'm pretty sure I closed it at number 40. After 40 videos of that, I said, enough is enough. No longer having fun with that. Move on. Kevin, like the auction recap. I like enjoy. See, that one thing I don't get tired of. Okay, because it's sure some books I recap every show, every auction, because they are in every auction, like Amazing Fantasy 15. But overall, there are always different interesting things in every auction to look at, and then to be wowed by the prices. So I enjoy doing that. So that's never gonna go away. The auction recap, and then over the past 6 months, I switched over to doing Slap Talk. Like I said, changes are good. Okay, I have no idea what would tickle the fancy of Don as far as making more videos and stay on YouTube, but it's about he has to figure it out. And my advice is branch out and see what you enjoy talking about, because it doesn't have to be about comic book. Sure, the channel is comic book, but for me, this channel is more as an extension of me and pop culture, whether it's movie, TVs, or comic books. So it's not just about comic books. Absolutely, Terrence. It's about having fun and enjoy what you are talking about. It's not it's this is not serious topic. None of this is life altering, changing topic, and so it doesn't have to be. It's about fun, and I understand. I saw Alex, the comic hoarder, also turn off his thumbs up and thumbs down channel because he's getting discouraged by seeing a lot of thumbs down. And I get a lot of thumbs down. Just look at my last Wednesday when I have a chat, I get bombed with a bunch of trolls, and I got 7 thumbs down before the chat was over. 7. Okay, so trust me, we all, for the active folks in this community, like Don, like me, and even people that's new, like Alex the comic hoarder, it is what it is. There's a lot of haters who I have no idea, but it is silly. Like I said, I don't understand it, so I don't even try to explain like why people need to thumbs down another person's video. I don't do that. If I don't like something, I switch to another. There's so many videos on YouTube. I have a hard enough time trying to keep up with all the videos instead of watching something and not liking it and thumbsing it down. I can tell within the first 30 seconds if I care to waste another 10 minutes. So, like I said, I don't know. Kevin's comic said that he stopped doing the editing because he got tired of it. Yeah, I do very little editing, as you can tell. Live Google Hangout like this is easy to do because you just plop yourself in front of the camera, put on a hat so that your hair doesn't look like garbage, and talk. And often, Rebel Comic is here. Larry is here. Hello, Larry. So that is it. Yesterday, I did appear on the Legends silent auction show for the first time, and I show up some books. For those that have not seen the show, I show, I think, 8 slabs. Some very cheap, some not very cheap. But if you have any interest in buying them, just contact me. I show off those 8 X-Men slabs, and if nobody wants them, no big deal. I will probably put them up for sales on Instagram. I have never done selling books on Instagram. Give that a shot. At the end of the day, I have a lot of conversation. Hello, Rag. Hello, David Ross. I have a lot of conversation with a lot of collectors over the many years about selling, how much to ask for, when to give a deals, all that stuff. What's my philosophy? Kevin, I am not a big fan of Facebook. I can't stand Facebook. I have been a member of a couple of groups on Facebook as far as comic books, and I rarely go into it. I rarely go on to Facebook. To me, I'm just not a big Facebook fan. My wife loves Facebook. I have a lot of friends that love Facebook. To give a quick reason why I have a thing, it's not because Facebook sucks or anything like that. It's not. I have a personal sad story with Facebook that I forever regret. And I can tell this story because it's been a few years now. But my best friend, okay, I don't have a lot of best friend, but when I moved away from Boston to move down here in Florida, one of my best friend was in Boston. He was, I say 5 years younger than me. He's married, and and I was so busy moving down here, busy getting married. So we did fall out of touch for a good bit of time because getting married, moving down here, and then having my son. That was a lot of things going on. and I was busy. You know, you gotta remember, my son was born in 2007. The stock market crashed in 2008. My business is inverse of the stock market. When the stock market go down, my business explode. Okay, so I was insanely busy in 2008, and I remember in 2007, you know, I got a request through Facebook to be friend with him. He finally went on Facebook himself, and he requested me to be his friend. I'm just like, I don't have time for Facebook. You know, if he want to talk to me, we can do it the traditional way, phone, email. That's fine. Facebook, screw that. Who need that stuff? And then, literally, a year went by from like 2007 to 2008. A year went by, and you know, we did not talk or exchange email. Nothing. I mean, I was so deep into raising Anthony, dealing with my crazy business, and I finally answer his befriend. So I finally joined Facebook in mid 2008 and befriend him, and I got a message back from his wife saying that he passed away. I hated myself for so long. That was part of the reason why I re-entered the hobby in late 2008. Long story, but ultimately, Rob, my good friend, was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he literally went from being normal and passed away within 7 months. So within the 8 months of him invite me to Facebook and I reply, he passed away. Brutal. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I was a mess. Trust me, I was a complete mess for a long time. You know, I think my wife was responsible for saying, you know, why don't you get back into collecting comic books? You and Rob share that joy. Maybe that would make you, you know, feel better and get back into it. So that was my return to the hobby in late 2008 after that whole nightmare situation. Yeah, that's why I stay off Facebook. After that, I had such a bad taste in my mouth because of like I said, I don't hate Facebook because of Facebook. I hate Facebook because of what I failed to do. But like I said, it's been 8 years now. So God bless him. He was in New York City. His wife and his two young children is in New York, and best of wish to them. You know, so when it comes down to you know, making videos and enjoying the hobby, you know, I can't say enough that I appreciate everyone for voting for me in the past couple weeks. I did not expect to win anything. I'm humble, and like I said, who doesn't like to be liked? Okay, it would be silly for me to sit here and say I didn't care to win. Once I found out I was nominated, there's a part of me that say, "Oh, it'd be awesome if I won." Then I find out how many people like me or not. Anyone bought comic from any of you? Well, Kevin's for your question, I have not. I have seen a large amount of deals going through Instagram. So I will make a dive into Instagram probably this week. You know, like all those 8 X-Men slab that I have that I haven't sold. I give Instagram a shot. If not, the next logical place would be in the CGC forum for me. Okay, that's my plan, is to try Instagram next, and then if that doesn't work, then try the CGC forum, and last but not least, if that doesn't work, then eBay. Those books are not worth sending to Comic Link. Okay, when it comes down to Comic Link, I prefer not to consign anything to Comic Link for anything less than $150 or $200. Anything that's like 40, 50 bucks, 60 bucks, I'd rather go the eBay route. And because the problem with Comic Link or any auction house, not just Comic Link, whether it's Comic Connect or Metro, it takes a long time, longer than eBay, as far as getting your money from the buyers. I consign a lot of stuff through Comic Link, and from the time that the auction ends, you gotta understand, I might send my book today, and then they might not be able to put my book in into January auction. Too late now. I might have to wait into February if I'm lucky. If not, I had to wait into March to put those books into the March auction, and then the winners of the March auction isn't required to pay until like the end of March. So by the time they pay, the check clear, all that stuff, I get my money in mid-April, late April. So you see that? January, April. So when it comes down to selling something for 50 or 60 bucks, I prefer not to have to wait 4 months to get the 50 bucks. So yeah, when it comes down to cheap stuff, I avoid consigning to the big auction house because it's just not worth the wait. Whether I can get $5 more consigning to Comic Link, I'd rather have the money 4 months quicker. If you understand what I mean. Yeah, friends and family with PayPal is okay if you know the person well. Because once you use friends and family with PayPal and things go bad, you have little recourse. Okay, eBay, PayPal protection went out the window the moment that you use friends and family methods. So I usually don't ask people to do that. Sure, it saved me 3%, but I don't want to put myself at risk or the other party at risk. So I always advise people that unless you know someone well, unless you deal with someone enough to know that you can trust them, don't put yourself at risk to use personal PayPal. And that's common sense. Okay, I hope what I'm saying is common sense. It's not, regardless if it's on the CGC forum. I just had a very bad deal on CGC forum. I bought something in the CGC forum. I paid. This person asked me to send them a personal check, and this is a person that had been on CGC forum for many years, a trusted person. And silly me, I blame myself. I trusted this person enough to write a personal check. It's not a lot of money. It's $125. I wrote a personal check. And I have done this. I have done this with other members of the CGC forum and have not had any bad things happen. But this time it did. This person cast a check and disappeared. Oh well. Sucks to be me. So just be cautious. When it comes down to, doing things, sometimes the old saying, penny wise, dollar foolish. Okay, you don't want to be reminded of that kind of nonsense. So yes, I have been there. Even as cautious as I was, sometimes I let my guard down, and sometimes I get the quick, swift kick in the can to be reminded that, just because it is a CGC forum, there are asshats, douchebags, scammers, even there. Morning, Jeff. Really, Illy, yes. It's not worth, it's a buyer. It's a seller. I have told people that I don't mind eating the 3.5%. It's a peace of mind. I don't encourage. Now, if somebody say, Nick, I'm going to give you personal PayPal to save you on fee, if they insist on paying me with personal PayPal, then I am gladly to share some of that savings. Every time someone offer me to pay with personal and I trust them, I knock off 2%. It's not a lot, but I'm not going to take all the savings. I try to do deals where it's a win-win for both. Okay, I'm not going to say, oh, if you pay something, uh, you know, personal PayPal, I'm going to save 3.5% and yay to me. So Repotate said, I need a personal pressure. My advice is, there's a lot of good pressers out there. I'm not gonna, I don't have to market myself, but if you're on Instagram, there's certainly, you can see a lot of pressure on Instagram advertising their services and their fees. There's a lot of them, I mean, if you're adventurous enough, Anthony, and want to learn how to press yourself, then I might be able to help you there. Monks then said that he bought a books from eBay and it looked good, but then it looked like this restore. There was 2 rips where you can see the seam were glued together. Yes, that's the bad side of eBay. Okay, that's the bad side of buying something raw. And that's the risk. That's the risk that I have repeatedly tell many people over the many years that I like to buy raw. I like to, take calculated risk because that's how I try to build my collection over the years. I buy something raw, undergraded, and then I slap them and then I sell them. And I make a lot of profit that way. And knock on wood, it has been a successful model for me because I think I have chose well. I just don't want to deal with sellers that does not offer refund or take back the book. This way, if I find something, and sure, have I missed? I can say that over the past 3 years, I missed restoration on 2 books. I bought a couple books. I bought on 2 occasions. I bought something. I didn't review close enough. I thought it was a good deal. I put the books away, and then 6 months later, a year later, I took the book out to grade and scan, and I saw the restoration. I'm just like, dumbass. You should have looked closer. You were too lazy, too busy to check, and this is what happened. So it's a constant reminder for me to always check before I put it away. Like I said, even I make mistake. Okay, at the end of the day, both books that I bought that were restored were on me because the restoration was so damn obvious that I don't know what I was looking at. I must have been super busy and I was in a hurry to just like glance through the book and say, oh yeah, it's fine. It was not fine. And it was not cheap books. I think one of the book, I can't remember how much I paid, but it was not like a $20 book. It was a $100 book. So I kicked myself there. Kick hard. Carl is here. Hello. Yes, Carl. Love the music. I watched it early this morning. Space Baby said that yes, Monk, thread lightly. Took me a couple of years to develop trust with a number of sellers. And even with sellers that I trust, they miss sometime. Okay, that's human. A lot of the trusted sellers on eBay are busy buying collections and listing them to flip to make profit. Okay, and even they will misgrade, miss flaws. Not that I bought things from one of the more popular sellers on eBay as far as comic books, but Comic for Less. I'm sure many people here are familiar with that name on eBay. Very good seller, I would say among the trusted sellers. But I have returned books because they were packed poorly. I have returned books because I found restoration that he missed. So it happens to the best of them. Do I tell people like, oh, don't buy from Comic for Less? No, it happens. Okay, it happens. Um, and like I said, when it comes down to grading, even the best uh, auction house will miss. Um, for example, for those that watch my slab that I got back from CGC last month, the one book that I complained about was Batman 251, where I got an 8.0. I went back on my record and checked. Guess where I bought that book? I bought that book from Heritage. Okay. And it was listed raw as a 9.0. I bought that raw many, many years ago as a 9.0 raw. I thought it was closer to 8.5. 9.0 was kind of wishful thinking, in my opinion. But when I bought the book, I thought, they slightly overgraded. But then when CGC looked at it and give it an 8.0, I'm like, that's kind of harsh. Okay. I already sold the slab, so it's out of my collection. I move on. But when it comes down to grading and subjectivity, trust me, there is a whole lot of range. And even the best seller, the best auction house will not get it right. So you can't fault every seller if they make a mistake. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I bought enough with many sellers that sometimes when they make a mistake, it's okay for me to just let it go. If it's small, I mean, if it's like a $10 item and I end up didn't like the book, I'm not gonna waste $3 returning it. It's $10. Who cares? Johnny's here. Hello, Dr. Manchilla. How's the cold weather up in the Northeast? I heard the weather is brutal. For us, as you can tell, for the first time this winter, I'm wearing a sweatshirt, okay? So I can tell you the heat finally went on for the first time because we got down to 53 degrees last night. If we are at 53, I can't imagine what it is up in Boston or Philadelphia or other places. Oh, Little Reaper is watching me. Hello, Little Reaper. A cutie pie. Oh, bummer, Monks Dan. eBay has done nothing. Sometimes, Monks Dan, I feel your pain. And this is one of the time where, every time I complain about eBay, I usually get a whole lot of commentaries from my friends saying, oh, eBay's protect the buyer. They're always out there to screw the seller. How many times have you heard this? More often than not, right? And I can tell you, it's someone that bought a lot more than sell on eBay. Often that's not the case. Okay. So I don't know what the ratio is as far as eBay siding with the buyers or the sellers, but I have been on the bad end of being a buyer many times that whenever I hear someone say eBay always protect the sellers or the buyers, I'm just like, that's not true. Not true. Thank you, Don. Don is in the house. I am very humble and grateful to be the winner of getting the most vote, as well as hosting the most favorite one man yapping show. I appreciate everyone for voting for me. I can't say enough that how I appreciate everyone for watching this channel, because it's about fun. You know, I can't stress enough that, you know, it's about having fun. Even if there are a few bad eggs that like to thumbs down this channel on a weekly basis, it's okay. I'm human. I don't like the thumbs down either, but it is what it is. I take the good with the bad, and luckily the goods have outweighed the bad 4 years on YouTube. So Kevin asked, where was this vote? The award, the voting for the yearly YouTube award was ran by the Comic Book SD on his channel. It took place over the past month, I think. And I think some people had made their vote public by making a video and talk about who they're voting for. I think many people have voted privately. I voted, but I'm not sure if Don the Comic Book Junk. I voted for a bunch of people. Like I voted, you know, I made my vote public in one of the chat, but I think I made a mistake of not telling the Comic Book SD to watch that particular chat, because it's one of my, when he first announced, I did have a weekly chat like this, and I mentioned who my vote was for. Like I voted for I think Don for the Collector of the Year. I voted for I think for Ensemble. I voted for Lord of the Long Box and his crew. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of things I voted for, but I think I may have screwed up the voting myself. Well, thank you, Monks Dan. You know, it's what you see is what you get. The only thing that's different here, compared to the real me in real life, is that I cuss a lot more in real life. Just ask my wife. The reason why I'm like this is that the reason why I try not to cuss on YouTube is that my sons, his cousins, my families sometimes watch the videos. My wife will share the videos with her friends, colleagues, co-workers. Yeah. And I prefer them not to see that potty mouth side of me. Okay. My wife get on my case enough for cussing constantly, so I try my best. You know, I understand. Okay. Shockingly, my son, who is 9 right now, has not picked up the bad habit. When I cuss, he give me that look like, "Oh, Dad, calm down." So he's not learning from my bad examples. Okay. So for whatever reason, so far so good. He's learning from mommy, and respect mommy's wish to not say those bad words. So I had to be thankful that my son does not have a potty mouth, while I have a hard time not cuss, especially when I hear something stupid. Oh my God! You know, I am what I am. Okay, I can turn that part off when I'm on YouTube in front of the camera, but for the most part, woo! Damien is here. Hello, Damien. Monks dead. Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's okay. Like I said, you know, I think part of it too is when I am in this kind of environment, like I'm not talking to. Usually, when I cuss, it's because I'm dealing with something stupid. You know, with my business, with my wife' business, we deal with a lot of stupid stuff on a daily basis, and I have no patience for stupid. Um, you know, one of my favorite saying is "Stop the stupid." But that's why. But when it comes down to like sitting here talking on Sunday morning with you guys and chit chat about things, it's not. There's no need to cuss because there is nothing uh, uh, that pisses me off. Oh, David Ross, I understand. I fully expect Anthony to say bad things and do bad things later. It's part of life. It's part of growing up. So you know, and my wife understand that. You know, she understand that it's just nice. It is nice to see him, my son, being around me with an unfiltered mouth most of the day, and he does not walk around and cuss like me. So it's nice. Like I said, I appreciate his behavior. My son is awesome. I can't say enough about how I feel very lucky to have such a wonderful kid. So far, so good. He's only 9, so a lot of things can change by the time he's 18. I told my wife, enjoy him now. Okay, embrace everything that you can, soak it in 3 or 4 or 5 years when he's 12 and 13 and become a rotten teenagers, you might not care as much. Stop the stupid. Yes, remember that. Stop the stupid. I have asked my wife to get me a T-shirt, and she won't do it because she feel that it's too offensive. But I want to create a line of T-shirt with my favorite saying like "Stop the stupid," you know, things like that. I have a whole bunch of common saying that I say to people I don't like or disagree with that my wife cringe when she hears that. Repetition, say it offends stupid people. You know, I have, for those that have watched my video, I have pulled this book out. It's gonna be a crack out party next Tuesday or this Tuesday. Okay. Um, I have admired this book for the past day. Can't wait to crack it out. It's gonna be cracked out. It's a beautiful book. A very nice. I can tell you, this is a 4.5, the same grade as my Fantastic Four #1. But I can tell you, it looked a lot nicer. Okay, it looked a lot nicer than my Fantastic Four #1 for the same grade. Can it be higher? Who cares? Okay, it doesn't matter. This is one book that when I crack out a book, just like the Superman 11, it is because it's gonna stay in my collection for at least 10 years, if not longer. There will be a core set of books that will stay with me for as long as possible. Could be 20 years, could be 25 years, who knows? With the 3,000 books that I still have, most likely half of that will be gone in the next 10 years. Okay, so whether I sell a couple hundred books going forward here and there, sure, that will happen. But this Fantastic Four #1, uh, Superman 11, those things will stay with my collections as long as possible. Who knows? Then, if Anthony decided that he want to collect comic books, say 10 years from now, right now, Anthony cannot care less about this hobby. But if he changed his mind in 10 years, then I can see myself leaving those things for him for the foreseeable future. So that's when it comes down to why do I crack certain things and why I don't crack certain things. That's why. If there's a book that I have that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to keep long term, there is no reason to destroy that value and crack it out. That's my philosophy. Lois Lane asked, do I keep an Excel spreadsheet? The answer is no. I'm not the kind of collector that is overly concerned about values and need to update my spreadsheet. I have friends that do that. I have friends that keep their books in their collection in a spreadsheet, and they update it like every few months, every 3 months, as if it's like some kind of they do that because they do see that as an investment portfolio. I'm not going to tell them not to do it. I don't do it. For me, I have more fun not being overly concerned about values of everything on any given days or month. That's why I also don't subscribe to GPA. I don't use it. Plus, I don't want to be concerned or wonder what the value is on a constant basis. Okay, that's not how I enjoy the hobby. At the end of the day, if someone want to do that and need to do that to put the money into this hobby, then so be it. I'm not going to tell that person that they are wrong or I'm right. There are many ways to enjoy the hobby. Do what you must. Okay, that's my best advice to people about this hobby is do what you must. Don't do what I do. Not monkey see, monkey do. Okay. I can't say enough about the longevity of this hobby. For me has always been about doing what pleased me. I have said this in many videos that I have never cared or concerned with anyone else's collection. I have never used the word jealousy in any video. I don't care. If you're happy, cool. What you have, fine. Do I have everything? No. So don't take what I said as if like, oh, he's pompous, he's arrogant because he says everything. I have 3,000 books. That's not everything. But at the same time, there's a lot of things I don't have and I don't care to have. Okay. Like I buy what I really love. Like, I understand the significance of a lot of things. Does not mean I want to have it. Just like, Showcase 4, Showcase 22. I used to have a Showcase 22. No longer care. I sold that a long time ago. So it's about, I approach the hobby in that, I buy what I want. I buy what I love. I don't care what other people have. I'm not influenced by anybody else purchase. And I think that's what makes me happy so far in the many decades is that I just go by what I like. Am I different than most people on YouTube? I don't know. You tell me. Let's see. I've been not paying attention to the chat board, so I'm trying to catch up on. Nick, if Anthony decides to start collecting, give him a link to your channel to tell him to enjoy it and give him $10 to get started if he wants to collect. He does. Cause a counting point. Anthony do watch my videos. He do listen to my Wednesday and Sunday chat sometimes. He think it's funny sometimes, He watched my channel. He understand my love for the hobby. He doesn't share the same passion for superheroes, but he understands it. He has always keep a distance of the hobby. I have a few pictures of Anthony as a 2-year-old running around with slaps in his hand. It's very cute. But it's someday, you never know. People change, kids change. I don't know. I cannot predict if Anthony will ever care. But right now I can say he doesn't. David Rossi cared to adopt me? No. Monks then say he cared to have one book in his collection, a Hope 181. If that's the case, best of luck to pursue one. And if you have that, then you will be a content man. Okay. Ultimately, I think the best thing for any collector to be is contentment. Okay. Once you reach that level of contentment, the hobby slow down for you. That's how I am. Okay. I have reached that level of contentment a few years ago. It's not sure. Would I like to have the Fantastic Four #5 or X-Men #1 on my wish list? Absolutely. But I have reached that level of contentment where it's not a big deal. I like to have it. See, that's the word I like to use. I like to have it. I like to own it. I don't need it. I don't want it. You see, it's not a want, a need thing. It's a like. I have reached a level where I say I like to have that. I like to own these things. But if I miss out, if I don't find the right deal, it's not a big deal. And that go the same with selling. You know, I think I somehow went the long about way of talking about selling. A lot of my friends ask me, like, you know, how do I determine what kind of prices do I sell? And my advice to them is, for me, when it comes to average day books, non-keys, will I sell something for cheap? Absolutely. When it comes down to things that I don't need to sell, things that I don't have to, that's the thing. The biggest thing that people fail to understand is need to sell, have to sell. Okay. It's just like this house. I live in this house. I don't need to sell it. But if somebody knock on my door, today and say, you know, I like this neighborhood and I like to buy this house, then you better make me a deal I can't say no. Right? If you don't have to sell, if you don't need to sell, why should you sell something at fair market value? This is my explanation to a lot of people that ask me about certain things. I want this, I want that. Would you sell me this? I don't take offense in people trying to get a discount. I do the same. Okay. But make no mistake on my mindset of when I sell something for cheap and when I don't. If I don't have to sell my Hope 181, if I don't have to sell it, don't want to sell it, why would I sell that book below fair market value? Why? There is no reason, right? So back to how to price your books. My advice to many of my friends are, A, know why you want to sell something. Do you need to sell something? If you don't need to sell something, no need to give any kind of discount. Be patient. Okay, now if you in dire need for money, in a hurry to sell something because you can't pay, whatever, that's where you have to give a deal. That's where buyers like me like to step in. Okay, I like to buy things on distress, whether it's stocks, house, cars. I like to buy things on distress. That's when I get the deal. But when it's not a distress sales, you're not gonna get the deal. You know, many people have asked me, where do I get the best deal for Amazing Fantasy 15? For most people that own Amazing Fantasy 15, they don't have to sell it. They don't want to sell it. So that's why it's not easy to get a deal on Amazing Fantasy 15, because the need and the want is not there. Does that make sense? You know, I have explained this many, many times to many people, and some people think that, some people disagree. I understand. Like I said, I'm just explaining to people how I approach selling. And I rarely put myself in position where I need to sell something or have to sell something. If I'm giving a discount, because I like to give the discount, I want to give a discount. I don't have to. There's no such thing as I have to sell something in a rush to get some money. No, that's not in my business model to do. because I understand when you have to, when you must, that's when you're gonna have to eat the discount. I'm not out there to eat in a discount. When I give a discount, it's on my own term. And a lot of people, I own a lot of big books over my lifetime, and I sold my X-Men 1 9.0 at crazy prices because I was not looking to sell it. A dealer approached me, oh gosh, five years ago, and said that I saw you have this book. Would you sell it? And I said, make me an offer I can't refuse. Make me an offer I can't refuse. Then you can have it. Otherwise, I don't care what GPA is. So yes, I did sell that X-Men 1 9.0 for a lot of money. A lot of money. Way, way above GPA at that time. Okay, so that's just my advice to people that, if you know the setup of why somebody is selling something, you can gauge whether you can get a discount or not. Yes, Carl. I need to sell this Amazing Fantasy 15 because my wife don't want me to keep it in the house anymore. It's one of the toughest question for me to not cringe is whenever people ask me, where can I get an Amazing Fantasy 15 at deep discount? It's like, why would you expect that? It's the only time when you can get something like that at deep discount is somebody a force to sell. Okay, like I said, doesn't matter how nice a house is, when there is a forced sales, a foreclosure, it's gonna go for cheap, right? Understand the scenario. I think on the grand scheme of things, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Understand the grand scheme of the situation will give you a good understanding when the seller will give you a discount or not. Doesn't hurt to ask for the discount, but understand why he's gonna say no. Oh, Dr. Von Schiller just came up with the best line, a best line that I need to repeat. Dr. Von Schiller said, an Amazing Fantasy 15 at deep discount can be found in one's Amazing Fantasy. Oh my God, that's John. You won the award for best line of the chat right there. That is awesome. It is true. Oh my God, every time someone asks me, Nick, where can I find a cheap copy? I'm just like, you pay up, okay? People ask me, okay, how do I get my Detective 31? Like, I have a restore copy of Detective 31 that I bought many, many years ago. And did you think I asked for a discount when the book was up for sale? No. I understand the scenario. I understand the situation. That is one tough book to find, restore or not. So when that book came up for sales and was offered to me, I bought it. I did not regret one bit of not trying to haggle a nickel off that book. And it was the right thing to do because I'm sure I can sell that book for a lot more today. But it is what it is. There's certain books you don't walk around expecting someone to give you a deal. It's 11:57. I will talk for a few more minutes, and then it's time to get ready for some football. Oh, before I go on, my apology, my sincere condolence to the Raiders fan. it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame for the Raiders fan to enter the playoff without their best player. That's the thing I hate the most about football. Injuries to key players. It's painful, okay? From a Steeler fan, trust me, last year in the playoff without Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, a killer impact to the Steelers losing to Denver. So I understand. I am not the kind of football fan that would cheer for injuries because, hey, I have seen plenty of game that the Steelers lost because they don't have key players. So it's karma. Okay, if you're gonna go around rooting for key players to get injured so that your team can win, it will come back and bite you in the ass. Okay, so I'm a firm believer that I don't go around wishing for injuries on other teams' players so that my team can win. It's not. I have seen enough bad karma on the Steelers on that end. So my condolences to the Raiders because, it's not the same team. Not the same team. Before I go, genuine article comments said, do you think we are in a bubble right now? And is there a correlation between film and comic book value? If comic book film go the way of Western, will comic book value also drop? Your thoughts? Tough question. Tough question with a lot of moving parts. Genuine article. The answer is, I don't think comic books, superheroes will go in the way of the Western genre, because ultimately, are we picking in comic book movies and TV show? I say maybe. Will this ever gonna go away? I don't think so. There are room in the movie theaters and TV to have these shows, as long as they are good and the characters will live on. See, the thing with Western is it's a genre. It's not one character. Okay, it's not like this character they recycle the same character over the many decades. So these characters will stay in the icon of pop culture. It's not. Okay, it's not. So Western movies might still exist, which we still see. We still see 2 or 3 Western movies a year, but nobody give a rat ass about Western comic books because we don't care about Dale Evans or whatever superstar of the 50s in Westerns. They are not the same characters as they are today in the big movies. Okay, now as far as Superman will be Clark Kent 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. So Superman will always going to be Superman, whether it's 1 movie a year, 1 movie every 2 years. It's going to be on the mainstream conscious of pop culture. Now, as far as value of books, I don't know. Okay, I'm not a fan of collecting comic books as an investment. I have said this many times that there are very few books in this hobby that I consider investment. Very few. There are many books that you can make money, you can speculate, all that stuff, but ultimately, I would not sink my money, my retirement money, into this hobby as if it's going to be a pot of gold when I retire in 20 years. I'm 50 right now, okay? I'm 50. I have some money in comic books, yes. I have a lot more in my 401k, my IRA, because ultimately that is more of an investment than first appearances. I wouldn't advise people. People ask me all the time, would you invest in comic books? How much would you put in comic books? I'm like, 10%. I don't know. I would, it's a good asset, an alternative asset of investment, but you have to know what and where to buy. I wouldn't go out there and buy the first appearances of apocalypse and call that an investment. No. Avoid that at all costs. David Ross, yeah, there was a hedge fund, man. I mentioned in the last chat, there was a hedge fund owner, an owner of a hedge fund, and he's also the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks basketball team. He was on TV last week. He bought a copy of Action One for $100,000, and he sold it for $1 million. He bought a copy of Wonder Woman for $30,000, Wonder Woman #1, and he sold it for like $270 something thousand. And so the sad thing with this hobby, for the most part, is those with deep pockets tend to make a lot of money, can make a lot of money. You know, it would take a whole lot of flipping of variants to make $1,000. And if you can flip modern books on speculating books and make a few $100 or a few $1,000 here and there, good for you. I'm not downplaying that. If you having fun flipping books and make $50, $100, whatever, if you're having fun, ultimately it's about having fun. Okay, if it is work to make $100 flipping a bunch of books on eBay, then you have to look at how much time you put in. If you spend 3 weekends driving to 15 garage sales in order to get that one book that you can sell for $10 profit on eBay, hell no, that's not fun. That's a waste of time. But that's me. Okay, I value my time a lot more than wasting 3 hours or 4 hours on a weekend trying to get that $10 profit. But to each its own. Okay, ultimately it's about having fun. If you are having fun making that $10, there's nothing wrong with it. I won't. I know I won't have fun trying to squeeze $10 profit out of a book that I find in garage sales. That's why I don't attend garage sales anymore. And that's it, folks. It's 12:05. It's time for me to get ready for lunch and enjoy the football game. Anyhow, a big thanks for everyone in the chat room. A big thanks for Combook SD to run the award show last night, and even a bigger thanks to everyone that voted for me. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the contents. Ultimately, I'm just yapping away on things I like to talk about, and if you enjoy that, that's all I can ask for. Bye. Good luck to the Steelers out there. I'm rooting for the Steelers, and I think my son is rooting for the Giants because he's a Odell Beckham fan. So we'll see. Until Wednesday. Bye-bye.